Alrighty, and we are live for the third round. Just like the last two rounds, we're going to run through the tables, the players, and any final thoughts that we've got. If this is your first time watching, which I don't know why you'd start with three, but okay. Basically, here's how this is going to work. We have a panel of judges, gestured to below. And what they're going to do is we're going to go through the process of telling you who's playing who, what their army lists are, and then what we think that matchup is going to play out like. This is all theoretical. This is all for fun. None of it is official. Nobody's going to kick your puppy if you lose, so it's not a big deal. We're doing this just to get some little entertainment, get you guys thinking about Masters, and get you excited about who you might be playing if you're attending Masters. Or give you at least a little time to maybe game plan for what some of these really tough matchups are going to be like. Shut up, Corey. All right. So what we're going to do is I'll go through, we'll introduce everybody. You guys tell us a little bit about yourselves, what you do while you're here. And when we finish up with that, we'll start jumping through the rounds. I'm just going to go in the order as I see it at the bottom. So we'll go with Jeremy first.
So hi, I'm Jeremy Duvall. I am the West Coast chair and one of the hosts of Countercharge. And this is it, the final countdown. I'm excited.
All righty. Mr. Pat Allen.
I'm Patrick Allen, former U.S. Master, and I will be producing this stream next weekend.
Yes, sir. Mr. Michael Piercy.
Hey, I'm Mike Piercy. I play out of the South in Austin. I'll be one of the commentators for the Master stream.
And let's hop over to Matt.
Hey, I'm Matt Carmack, and I'm going to be the other caster for the Master stream.
All right, so you guys are going to hear a lot from them next weekend. And finally, we've got Corey.
All right, Corey Reynolds. I'm the regional advisor from the Northeast, and I'm the TO for the Crossroads GT.
Nice. I got to get out there one year.
Yes, you do.
I know. You guys always have an interesting time of year that makes it really difficult for me. All right, so the main reason that we're all here not to talk about matchups is to talk about what we're drinking, right? So I'm going to make someone happy. I am drinking out of my Remember the Alamo glass because we're doing this at the Alamo GT. And I'm drinking one of Lennon Roy's beers that he sent me, the Green Man Dweller Imperial Stout. And I've not tried this before, so I'll try it right now. It's pretty fucking solid.
How about
Who else? Who's drinking?
I am finishing
drinking
off.
a lock? Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say I'm finishing off the Crown Royal that I've had the past 3 casts. So
Perfect. Matt?
I finally went out and got some scotch. So I'm drinking a Loch Lomond Reserve,
Oh.
which I got mainly because I remembered a song about it when I was over there. It's a cheap bottle, but it's pretty good.
Nice. Jeremy, Mike, Corey? No.
So, I had ran out of the black eye, so I made a trip to Costco, and the Kirkland vodka is back. And I purchased this nice Hawaiian shirt for $4 on sale.
Oh, nice.
So I got clothes, vodka, and trash bags. So it was pretty successful Costco run.
That's a winning night right there.
Pretty good. It makes me feel good, So
Mike?
I am drinking
Oh, there we go,
anal
Corey.
water
Oh.
out of an Eagles commemorative Super Bowl.
Boo! Go Birds!
Cheers, Rotti.
Are you teetotaling tonight, Mike, or no?
Yeah. I also have a glass of water. Also, still celebrating the Eagles.
Living in the past. All right, let's get down to what we're really here for. We're doing table 23 through 32 tonight. This is going to round out all 64 players that are coming to Masters. On table 23, we have Nick Michelonis from the South region playing Ratkin versus Mike Austin from the Mid-Atlantic playing Twilight Kin. And let me click that over to you, Pat, so that we can see that. Classic.
Yeah, this is an interesting pair of photos. We got Mike, and then we got Nick.
Get
Pretty sure
good.
Nick took this photo
Get
specifically for this.
That's good. That's how you should do it. Babyface killer. All right, Adam. I think Adam is not here, so I'm going to get Nick's list. That's right. Adam's not feeling good tonight, so he couldn't join us. But hopefully he recuperates in time and doesn't get the entire tournament sick next weekend. All right, I'm going to be reading a lot of rats this weekend. Nick Michelonis is running his Masters Rats list. So here's what he's got. He's got 1, 2, 3 regiments of tunnel slaves. He has a horde of shock troops with the fog.
Nice.
He has 2 hordes of blight, brew of strength, brew of haste. I like that haste on that. That's nice. 2 regiments of vermintide, 2 weapon teams. Both of them have the default upgrade that they always come with. A blight lord with Bane Chant 3. A warlock with Bane Chant 3 and the Inspiring Talisman. Nick is bringing the Demon Spawn, and of course, he brought his default wings. Nick also has allies in the army. He has 2 hordes of Dark Scythe chariots from Twilight Kin, and he also has a Twilight Kin army standard bearer. He has mounted that dude on a horse, so it'll move 9 and probably keep up with those chariots. And that is Nick's list.
I've got Mike Austin's kin list here. He's bringing 2 hordes of crossbowmen, one with the Heart-Seeking Chant, one with the Wine of Elvenkind. He's got 2 regiments of Reaper Guard, 3 troops of Gargoyles, a horde of Dark Scythe chariots with the Potion of the Caterpillar, 2 Dark Lords on Black Dragons, a Dark Avenger mounted on a Pegasus, and a second Dark Avenger mounted on a Pegasus, and an Army Standard Bearer mounted with the Loot of Insatiable Darkness.
All right, I'm
That's
still
the list.
absorbing. Anybody have a immediate reaction to either of these?
That fog is going to really pay off in this matchup.
Yeah, that's no joke.
Yeah, for sure.
Like that
Good
on
call.
the shot.
3 stealthy units is going to pay off in this matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Or including the Blight Lord.
Yeah.
All right. A lot of inspiring in this list. 4 inspiring sources.
It's so interesting what a year does to the meta, huh? It's just like dark scythe chariots wherever you look.
Yep.
I know Mike Austin has a lot of experience with elves and has basically kind of, I think, made this switch over to Twilight Kin to capitalize on some of those stuff. So, and I know that kind of in the scene, he's had a lot of success with this list.
Mm-hmm.
I think that fog is definitely, you think about those kind of like, I like to call them tech pieces, choices that you pick that some games may do nothing for you and other games could really make a difference. So that is going to really help protecting that shock troop horde. Now, has Nick played Ratkin in lists? I don't think I've ever seen him play Ratkin in a tournament.
Yeah, Nick
Yeah,
has been
he does.
playing Ratkin
Okay.
pretty
That
consistently.
was his main army.
Okay, because when I played him a couple Alamos ago, I think he maybe was using Aaron's Varangur list. So he is familiar with playing this list.
Yeah, very much so.
Well, he's a solid player. So
Yes, he is.
and he's so nice and gentlemanly that you come up to the game and he's just like this nice little fellow, and then starts feeling your shit.
I think my favorite moment with Nick was he had a unit of mine waver his archdemon. It was like, you can roll nerve on that. You could double 6 him. I was like, oh, cool. It's like, it has fury. Just all casual, like. I was like, thanks. No.
Flip back over to Austin's list real quick, please, Patrick.
He does have a lot of unit strength. Austin does in this list. A lot of unit strength.
He's 5 short of Nick, though.
Yeah.
You're not
usually
going to
you-
beat grabs out of unit strength.
Also, I don't.
He's got a good number for kin, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, for like an elf
his
shooting
demon
type
spawn
army.
is going to have to do some work with those dragons.
I don't know, man. Dragons are scary, and they can, like, yeah, they'll put a flank on one of those units, but he's got to get both of them in there because he's relying really heavily on that shooting to soften things up. Otherwise, his only other hammer unit in the list is the chariots. So,
I mean, stealthy is nice, but
Yeah,
against more shooting, you're still going to do some damage.
yeah,
Blight's still only defense 3.
Especially with vicious.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, everything that hits is going to hurt.
Nothing to recover either for Nick.
No healing, right? No healing in the Ratkin list.
Yeah.
Those tunnel slaves are going to go down pretty quickly if they get targeted early.
Actually, looking at the Mike's list, and the gargoyles are honestly the thing I think Nick might be most worried about, if I had to say, just because he doesn't have a lot of long range shooting. He only has the warlock and the
demon.
No, he's got the 2 chariots.
Dark's got chariot units.
Yeah, he's got the chariots.
Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry, I keep looking at just the rat part. And
yeah, he's got plenty of counter shooting. Yeah, so this will be a close game.
Yeah,
I mean, those chariots are like how shooters were back in the day. They make any list. They arguably make any list better.
yeah.
Being in them, you know.
No, they're really good. 18 attacks is almost a horde's worth of shooting on a different profile that's faster and can fight in melee.
And at a discount.
Yep.
Yeah. It's those 2 extra attacks, man. Makes them just a little
And I do kind of like the Army Standard Bearer too. Is a little bit of inspiring. Plus, it's one more piece. I mean, the Army Standard Bearer from the Allies.
Mhm.
You know, it gives them some inspiring from early shooting, which is one thing the chariots could get taken off of, right? Is you
Yeah.
have some early shooting. The Army Standard Bearer gives him a little defense, a little protection, and then also it's another fast chaff piece that he can use later on in the game. I definitely like that little, not just the Dark Scythe chariots, but picking that Army Standard Bearer, I like that. It's a smart choice, I think.
It is.
Yeah.
I think I would have preferred a Dark Avenger, but I don't know. It's an extra 10 points, and I don't know what I would drop to get that. So
Yeah.
You'd have to really go through because he doesn't have any extraneous items, really.
no, every item he has feels very necessary.
Yeah.
There's a purpose to it.
You'd almost have to drop one of the spells, and you don't want to do that.
You could drop the Brew of Haste.
Yeah, Brew of Haste, exactly. That
Yeah,
is
that's-
probably the one that you could maybe not have.
You go strength to Pathfinder on the one Blight Horde.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This is going to be a good game, though. This is going
Yeah.
to be a really interesting game.
So let's hop into it. Let's do some votes, and I'll just run down the list for y'all. Jeremy, you're up first.
Okay, so in my Epic Masters last year, where I played 3 games on Friday night, my 3rd game was against Keith Randall, and Mike Austin in the beginning of turn 1 was like, "You realize you've lost this game already," and I didn't realize that, and I told him, "Thank you for letting me know." So because of that attitude, I'm gonna go for Nick, and I played Nick in person, so that's who's getting my vote.
Alrighty, Pat.
I'm gonna go with Nick. Home team region, and that's a lot of nerve for it to shoot through, with most of it being stealthy.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Mike.
I'm actually going to go with Mike, and I think that the MVPs of this game are going to be those Pegasus-mounted Dark Avengers.
Gotcha. Matt, thoughts?
I'm still going to lean with Nick. I do. It's those 2 chariot hordes that I keep missing at the bottom that keep popping back up at me. Like, I look at the rest of the list and I'm just like, oh, yeah, this isn't that bad. And then I look at those and I'm like, oh, right. Just half of the kin army right there and 2 chariot hordes.
All right, Corey, last vote.
I'm going to go with Mike. I agree with Mr. Piercy there that the Avengers on Pegasus are going to be they're going to stick those chariot hordes and neuter them for most of the game, I think.
Speaking of neutering. All right, table 24. We have Matt Young from the South region playing his Ogres against Mr. Brian Brodeur from the Mountain region playing his Ogres. So we've got a little Ogre Civil War going here, folks.
Okay, so I have Matt's list from Hobby Sauce. So let's get saucy. So he's playing his Ogre's an army people would probably be familiar with if they've seen his channel or played with him an event. Pretty stuff he's used to taking. He's got 2 hordes of siege breakers, a horde of boomers with heart-seeking chant, 2 troops of red goblin scouts. He's got 2 regiments of chariots and a horde of chariot. The horde has a caterpillar. It's got a warlord mounted on a chariot with Banner the Griffin. Can guess what's coming later. It's got an army standard, 3 boomer sergeants, and then he is taking the Hell on Wheels formation.
All right, and I've got Brian. So over here on the other side, we got more ogres, 3 hordes of siege breakers, 1 with the Dwarven Ale, 1 with the Chalice of Wrath, and 1 with the Potion of the Caterpillar. A horde of boomers, 2 regiments of chariots, a warlord with the Banner of the Griffin. Oh my gosh, what's coming next? Hell on Wheels formation for that. 2 army standards, 1 with a flying hammer, 1 with the Diadem of Dragonkind. 2 boomer sergeants, a mounted red goblin bigot with a blade of slashing, and then a giant.
Defenses are going to mount much.
Very close.
What's the over-under on the number of points left on the board by turn 6?
This is going to be a bloody game.
Yeah, they're just going to beat the piss out of each other.
Yeah, I think the Red Goblin Scouts in Matt's list are going to be
Huge.
Here. Some good chat. Then he's got that horde of chariots that can actually one-shot a unit by itself.
Neither of their siege breakers are going to be pulling much weight because both of them just have so much crush.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's assuming they get matched up on each other. I mean, you would think that that's probably going to happen with a standard deployment, but
so both of their chariots can punch through that defense 6 decently well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the regiments you'll need a double charge, but
I guess it depends on terrain. No, just kidding. Too much caterpillar.
I think deployment's going to play a big factor.
Hey,
Ryan.
Timely Ryan
And
quote.
You got to think about how the scenario is going to affect this too.
Actually, speaking of scenarios, I do have an announcement for the end of the cast, so somebody remind me of that. But that'll come later.
I mean, I think Corey hit on it right away. It's the Red Goblin Scouts, I think, are going to be really huge in this game.
It's like it's literally the Red Goblin Scouts and then a giant, and like 1 boomer sergeant and 1 siege breaker regiment.
Right, extra boomer sergeant.
Yeah, like the lists are almost identical.
Matt has an extra chariot on his standard bearer too, instead of the items.
Yeah.
It's gonna be just a big old brawl in the middle of the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
It comes down to who can use their support piece best, really.
Yeah. And I think dice may play a role in this game too. You know, it's going to be just so much hitting, smashing each other in the face. You know,
Don't dice play a role in every game?
I guess that's true.
I'm being an asshole. No, I get exactly what you mean. If somebody hits a hot streak,
and this really feels like a coin flip match, just list on list.
Yeah, I think Matt's just got the better support pieces, just enough to tip it in his favor a little bit here.
Brian is the rookie of the year, though, still, right? Still, since we're 2018 season.
according to Adam, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
The blazing eagle of sportsmen, lone wolf sportsmanship winner.
That was impressive to come out of nowhere and pull that.
Yeah, he got me back to my hotel room, lone wolf, and I have no memory of that. So I'm forever thankful to him.
Did you have your wallet and or, anal virginity afterwards?
Well, I mean, I was walking a little stiff. Yeah, well, that's for another
You weren't
podcast.
the only one, buddy.
Somebody always gets laid at Lone Wolf. Just not always how you think it would
In
be.
the way that you want.
Yeah. Not
And that
always
you're
the
comfortable
preference.
exposing to the public.
I seem to recall one of them got punched out the next morning.
2 of them got punched out. Only one of them got laid, though. Did Ryan just freeze out?
Looks that way.
All right. Somebody take a drink. Oh, he's just fucking with us.
No, I
Cool.
can hear you just fine.
Other thoughts? Or do we want to go into votes?
Yeah, let's go into the votes. This one's a close one.
Yeah, I agree. Jeremy.
I think I'm going to go with Matt based on, I know it's such a small thing, but just having those extra, the Red Goblin Scouts, the support pieces, I think that's going to play a big role in this game. So I'll go with Matt. I love you, Brian.
Ryan.
I'm gonna go with Brian.
No, we're not on you yet. Ryan comes in front of you now. You can stop glitching
see
for
how
5
that is.
seconds. I'm looking at my screen. He's right there. Well, frozen, but
Frozen.
Can you even hear me? Am I
you're
nonsense going on?
You're going in and out, man.
Well, that's typical of me. I flipped a coin, and Matt won the coin toss, so I'm going to go with Matt.
Good call. Pat.
I'm going with Brian since they went with Matt. I really think it's gonna be that close.
Seems logical.
You don't want to get our audience drunk that early?
I don't think you're wrong. Mike.
I'm gonna go with Brian too. The extra chaff is nice, but siege breakers and a giant versus the chariot horde as far as hitty pieces. I like the extra siege breakers and the giant.
Okay. Matt.
Is it okay to call it a draw? I legitimately think this would be a draw.
No.
If I had to vote, probably Matt. I've seen him play ogres before, and he's always done really well with them.
Okay. And Corey, last vote.
All right, I'm going Matt. I think he's got the heart-seeking chant on the boomers, which is one difference, and then the extra chaff pieces I think will make a difference.
Rock and roll. And Adam Ballard from his deathbed votes for Brian. Okay, let's hop into table 25. We have Austin Kerrigan from the southeast, who's bringing his beautiful Night Stalkers, playing Mr. Keith Conroy from the northeast, who's bringing Herd. And Corey, I think you're reading first today.
I've got Austin's list, as you said, Night Stalkers. So we've got 2 regiments of Specters, 2 regiments of Butchers, or 2 hordes of Butchers. We've got a horde of Fiends with the Brew of Sharpness, 2 Shadow Hulks, a Planner Apparition, a Terror, a Voidler, and 2 Dread Fiends, 1 with the Blade of Slashing, and then the Butcher Block formation. That is it.
Gotcha. All right. And Ryan, are you here? Do you have Keith Conroy's list, or do you need us to flip it?
Is running Herd. He's running a horde of Spirit Walkers. He's got 2 Lycan hordes, one of which comes with a Brew of Strength, one comes with a Dwarven Ale. He's got not 1, he's got not 2, he's got not 3 Beast Packs like you do, but he's bringing a 4th bonus Beast Pack just for good measure. He's got a Stampede horde with the Brew of, Chalice of Wrath? What? He's got 2 Chimeras with wings. He's got 2 mounted shamans with heal. One has Mirrodin's Amulet of the Fireheart. The other has Banner of the Griffin. And he has a Lycan Alpha with the Blade of Slashing.
Any immediate impressions?
I like Austin's list a lot. Like this a lot better than the previous Night Stalker list we had where Butcher's Block was not taken. It's a good mix of monsters.
Does Keith doesn't have a single shot of offensive shooting?
No.
No, welcome to Herd.
Yeah, I was going to say it's Herd.
He's got 4 Beast Pack. That's a shooting.
He wins the chaff game on the Beast Packs. Shaman heals aren't shooting you sniff at. And he's playing Night Stalkers, so in this one, his lack of shooting isn't going to be that big of an issue.
I was thinking more for Austin. That's, the stealthy, you just don't get to take advantage of it all in this matchup.
Yeah, at all. But you're also not getting shot off the board, so I mean, there's that too.
Yeah. And honestly, I like this. 2 regiments of Spectres will do a good job cleaning up a lot of that chaff.
Mm-hmm.
Spectre's really nice. Probably only can get one shot with them before
Right.
Beast Pack run into them, though. And
Yeah.
even then, that might be hitting on 5s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Beast Packs will probably be hiding behind everything else. No reason to get out there.
Yeah.
early.
So
I really do like the Spectre, but
Yeah,
there's just so many. 4 Beast Pack is awesome.
We
Yeah,
joke
the light-
around with this a lot, but this is actually one table where the terrain is going to make a major impact, because if it's cluttered up in the middle, that's immediate advantage to the herd.
Mm-hmm.
Not
That's
taking
all
standard
that
charges.
stuff in the nice Stalker list will be hitting on 5s.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, not necessarily, because it depends if the terrain is cluttered in the middle, but it's a scenario where the Night Stalkers can just sit on the other side of the forest. That gets rid of all the speed advantage.
It could, but then you're just going to have a middle line standoff.
Right, and then they've got the heal and the herd list to kind of take that punch and sit there.
A little
Flying
bit.
chimeras only care for a turn if you're hiding behind a forest.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he does have a lot of speed in this list, in this herd
Yep.
list.
I mean, they're both
it's just
fast.
Speed for but I think that what you don't want to face when you have a fast list is an even faster list.
That's true.
You know, because when you're picking like a thing to skew towards, if you face the one thing that's skewed even harder than yours, that can be a real rough matchup.
Those little dread fiends are always a problem, though.
Yes, they
That's
are.
true. The Night Stalkers just have so much nerve and defense, though, on the other side of it. And with no shooting,
Yeah.
no Shadow Hulks, you're gonna have to punch them to death.
You have to get him in combat, and that's just the last thing you want to do.
Yep.
And I'd like Keith's list to have just one more punch element than it's got.
He's got the Spirit
Fourth
Walker
Beast Pack
horde,
and the Lycan Alpha.
Lycan's horde, and the Stampede.
Yeah. That Stampede's gonna help.
I guess the double chimera can.
The double chimera could.
That's gonna be a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
a
it's
match.
gonna be a very tactical match. I mean, the herd has the extra reach, but the Night Stalkers, they can afford to take a charge, unlike the herd.
Mm-hmm. It depends what they're taking a charge from.
True. I mean,
There's not a lot in
Not
that
like
Night Stalkers
Stampede.
list that's going to take a Stampede charge and still be there at the end.
yeah.
Yep.
There's not much in the game that'll do that, though.
I disagree. That Terra could probably take a charge. Just one, but you could take it.
Problem with Herd is when Stampede is one of your slowest choices, they're rarely coming alone.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any surge either, so that's going to be a little tough against all the flying the herd has. He's going to really have to keep him at bay with his Dread Fiends and Void Lurkers.
And I think those Dread Fiends are great, but I think that, you know, again, they start to go down a little bit when they're outspeeded by so many things.
They can take a charge from my Chimera.
Yeah, it's more of like they're taking the charge, but if you can't use them also as either like a chaff piece, or you just lose some utility, I think, in a matchup when they're outspeeded.
I just did the math. They actually have a 50-50 chance of taking a charge from the Lycan Horde. Because you do 10 wounds to a Dread Fiend, and you still need a 7 to break.
Is that
Yeah.
including the Brew of Strength or not?
Yes.
Okay.
What was it
For the
saying?
Brew Strength one, so it's even better for the Dwarven Ale one.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1470 is a tough nerve.
And they're cheap enough where you don't mind if they take a charge.
It's definitely going to be close.
Yeah, this is good. We've had a couple of close matches so far. Let's hop into voting for this one. Jeremy.
I think I'm going to go. Going to be a close list, or it's going to be a close match. I'm curious to see how many times people are going to ask Austin to not use his model and use the the other base size. Since for people who don't know, some of his stuff is on notoriously big bases. It's beautiful. So I'm curious to see how that's going to play out. But I'm going to go with Keith just for the speed. I think the speed's going to play a huge role.
Alrighty. Let's hop over to Ryan.
The joke there is Austin's going to be borrowing a Titan Dragon of Arclash from me to be his smaller size base model, so it's still going to be 2 feet tall, but it'll fit on a 75 mil. I'm going to go with Austin on this one.
Pat.
Oh, I just remembered that he has that, like, what is it, 8x11 terror.
Yeah.
And against some armies, the base size is actually useful.
Not
against Herd, when you have 2 flying chimeras, I don't think it is. So I'm going to go with Keith.
Okay, interesting. Good point. Mike.
I'm going to go with Keith, too. I like all the speed elements of his list.
Okay. Matt?
I really want to vote for Austin, but yeah, I think Keith has it with just the sheer speed. So,
alrighty, Corey, final vote.
Yeah, I think I agree with you, Mark. The ability with that deployment for terrain, just to litter the field with difficult terrain, is really going to be an advantage here for the Herd. So I'm going to go with Keith.
Assuming he gets the pieces he wants. Yeah.
Right.
Alrighty. It's a good little table. Let's take a look at table 26. We have Dustin Church from the Pacific Northwest playing Abyssal Dwarves, and he's going up against my beloved Kyle Poole from the Midwest, bringing Goblin Trash. Let's see. Adam is not here, so I'm going to read Dustin's list. Let me find it. Here we go.
So everybody needs to drink because this is a salamander list with all Abyssal Dwarf allies, apparently.
Oh, goddamn proxies. Alrighty, so he has got Abyssal Dwarves. He has 1, 2, 3 regiments of Immortal Guard. One has the Brew of Strength, one has the Diadem of Dragonkind, one has Kaba's hand grenades, and just for good measure, I'll mute that because Brad Pitt over here is eating super loud.
I do my dishes. I eat my chips. I watch Wheel of Fortune.
Viewers, interested in tail on the docket here.
One of those Immortal Guards does have Throwing Mastiffs. All right. Now we have a Horde of Decimators. They have Blessing of the Gods. There's only one regiment of Slave Orcs, sad face. A Slave Orc Gore Rider troop. We have a Horde of Abyssal Grotesques with the Healing Brew. We have 1, 2, 3 rocket launchers. We have 2 Angkor heavy mortars. We have a Slave Driver. We have an Iron Caster. He's been given Surge 8 and the Inspiring Talisman. We have a Greater Obsidian Golem. And we have 2 regiments of mutated Mastiff hunting packs. And yes, they both have Throwing Mastiffs attached to them. So this is the way you fucking do this.
Dogs throwing dogs.
Fucking played. Good job,
Yo,
Dustin.
dog, I heard you like dogs, so I gave dogs to your dogs so you could throw dogs when you're throwing dogs.
All right. Who's got the next list?
I've got Goblins Take Skill by Kyle Poole. He's got 2 regiments of Rabble. He's got 2 hordes of Trolls. One has the Chalice of Wrath, one has the Dwarven Ale, like you do. He's got 2 hordes of Chariots, 3 War Trombones, a Flaget with the Banner of the Griffin, a Flaget mounted on Fleabag with the Diadem of Dragonkind, a Wiz mounted with the Circlet of Blood, 2 Mincers, 3 Giants, Grogger's Split Tooth, who I'm not as familiar with, and then the Goblin Mega Blaster.
Grogger allows to reroll the Yellow Bellied.
Ah, yeah.
And then he has 4 bow shots that hit on the 6-up.
Is there a range on that Yellow Belly reroll?
I don't
Nope.
think so.
It's just
Yeah,
one that
full
fails,
army.
you get to reroll it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Is it one per? It's one per turn, one per game. I forget.
1 per turn.
1 per turn.
Which is generally all you're going to roll if you do
Yep.
roll it.
Unless you're Mike, but that's why he doesn't play goblins.
Yeah, that's why I stay away from melee goblins.
Mm,
Well, we've got some interesting matchup here.
Normal, I like all the shooting in the Abyssal Dwarf list.
Uh-huh.
But just what are you going to shoot at in the Goblin list?
Oh, those rocket launchers are exactly what you want to take against goblins, though.
Yeah,
I mean, they will consistently
Bulls,
put out
huh?
damage.
yeah.
You're looking like roughly 9 wounds per turn from just those guys.
From just the rocket launchers, they should each
For-
hit once for
Yeah.
2 each. You'd talk 6, probably 6
Yeah,
wounds.
6 wounds.
I think it's the mortars that average like 9 wounds when they hit.
So this list with Kyle, he's had great success this
he
year.
has.
I don't think he's even. I think it's undefeated in tournament play or thereabouts.
Yep.
So this to me is like I call it like a gatekeeper list. I think if you're going to win Masters, you will play this list at some point during the event. So when you have those sort of lists that come in undefeated like that, my instinct is it's undefeated for a reason. And I don't know if I'm seeing anything in Dustin's list that could challenge that, but I know Kyle has played this list all over the Midwest and towards the East Coast, and like I said, he's doing very, very well with it.
Just 2 minsters and 3 giants is just scary.
yeah. And there's enough shooting in the goblin list to make sure that those throwing dog mastiffs never get to toss the actual dogs out. Sucks being defense too and all, you know.
Yep.
You're 10-12, though. I mean, I think it depends on terrain. The spirit hordes are they only hit on 5s.
Yeah, that doesn't mean much. Not when they're only
Yeah,
defense.
but he doesn't have nearly as many chariots as you do.
You know,
You don't care about hitting on 6s or 7s because you have like a dozen chariots.
there's also just some weird stuff in this Abyssal Dwarf list that I don't fully get what's going on with, like the random regiment of slave orcs and the troop of slave
Riders.
war riders.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Iron
I
King
really like the Gore Riders,
there
actually.
to surge the Obsidian Golem.
Yeah,
Odd.
but I'd rather see like the formation at that point if he's going to take gore riders. Get the slave driver with the extra nerve in there.
But it's just a chaff piece. I mean, 85 points for what they do is pretty good.
Yeah.
Run out there and go hit something and disorder it or something. Yeah.
The thing that I don't really like about this Abyssal Dwarf list is 70 points put into shooting for the Immortal Guard. That's the 16-inch threat range for your shooting. Just a cavalry regiment could potentially grab you before you can actually shoot anything.
And Brew of Strength too, I'm not in love with either.
Yeah, with only
Yeah,
12. Right.
he has a lot of points invested into his Immortal Guards that I feel like are a little bit wasted.
Heck, I think he's almost got enough for another unit.
Got 90 points in there. You could get the chariot character. I think it would have been better. He would have been better served with that guy.
Yeah.
If you have the unlocks for that, though.
He could have just freed up an extra 5 points easily to get the Heart-Seeking Chant and the Decimators, too.
Or upgrade the slave orcs to a horde, or buy a whole nother regiment. Like, that's a lot of magic item points.
Yeah, you should have had the unlock for it.
He's got the unlocks.
Yeah.
Well, shall we vote?
I think let's do it. Jeremy, you're up first.
Kyle.
Ryan.
I'm going to go with Kyle because Dustin's looks like a really bad salamander list.
Actually, it looks like a great Salamander's
Yeah.
list.
Salamanders wish they could pump that much into it. All that artillery. Pat.
I'm going to go with Kyle.
Cool.
That Goblin list just looks nasty, and I don't think he's going to get Counter Charger this year.
It is a tough nut to break, I can tell you that. Mike.
Kyle. Yeah.
Matt?
Yeah, I definitely think Kyle can run this one.
Oh, we're on the precipice of glory. What do you think, Corey?
Mr. Pooh.
All right. That was a landslide. Am I wrong?
You are correct.
No,
No, you're not
landslide.
wrong. You're just an
You are
asshole.
correct, sir.
Rock and roll. Let's do table 27.
Excellent.
This is going to be a nice guy off here.
I love it.
Right? Okay, so table 27, we have Mr. Rashad Navidi from the West Coast, bringing his undead, playing against Chris fucking Kapsner from the Midwest, bringing his herd.
Oh man, this is so great.
Right? It's
So great.
oh,
Because they played a couple Masters ago in the first round, I believe.
they?
Not last year, but the previous year. And it came down to like a roll at the very end. And like I said, they're just going to be so nice and loving and caring and nurturing of each other. It's going to be fabulous. I'm totally excited.
that's pretty much what's going to happen on this one.
So
This is going to be the most Canadian table out there.
Yeah, the most Canadian of non-Canadians.
I think Ray Shields has
Ray's going to find himself drawn across the room to join in just because.
Just make sure Rashad wakes up at time and shows up. So
True. That's always the wild card.
He always stays up till like 4 a.m.
drinking too much, repairing his models and drinking too much.
Yeah.
So
I wish this table were next to Ray Shields and Kevin Spear.
it'd just be like, I just want to like hang out. This is one of the tables that you just want to hang out at. You know what I mean? Round one. So
There's like a glowing halo around them.
it is. It's just like two beautiful men. Okay, so I have Rashad's list, the Master of Cheese. He's playing Undead. He is bringing a Legion of Zombros. He's got the Werewolves with Brew of Strength, as you do. He's got double Soul Reavers, one with Sharpness. Twos is better than threes. And another one with the Brew of Haste. 2 Revcav troops. He's got a King on a Worm, Flying Worm. A BSB mounted with the Diadem of Dragonkind. A Pharaoh with Wings of the Honey Maze. He's got a Necromancer with Heal and Shroud of the Saint. And he's got the Barrow Whites.
All right, and then on the other side for Chris, he's got the herd, 2 hordes of Guardian Brutes, 3 Beast Pack, 2 Stampede hordes, one with the Brew of Sharpness and one with the Wine of Elvenkind, 2 Chimera flying, and then let's see, 2 Shaman, both with heal. One has the Amulet of the Fireheart, and then in addition, he's got some Elf allies. We've got a horde of War Chariots and then a Noble War Chariot.
this is going to be close.
Mm-hmm.
Those beast packs versus the Revenant Cavalry.
Right. Chaff to your heart's desire.
I was going to say, this is going to be key. I do think Chris has a couple more hammers, just overall.
Yep.
Flying Chimeras is going to be the
Chimeras
Yeah.
will get done here.
2 Stampedes and 2 hordes of Guardian Brutes are actually really good in this
That's a
match.
great second punch.
Yep.
Sorry, go ahead.
They're going to make sure that they're... I mean, those Soul Reavers, that's not what you want to see, is Stampedes and Guardian Brutes.
Mm-hmm.
And enough chaff to get them into you.
Yeah. The chaff game is going to have to be real on both sides here because those Soul Reavers have to get delivered.
Does anybody want to see Soul Reaver Cavalry?
I mean, they're not nimble, Mike.
There aren't entire armies that want to see a regiment of Soul Reaver Cavalry.
And the thing, having played Undead against Herd a lot, Stampedes really, normally just a Stampede naked or a Stampede, as long as you can, I mean, you get a Revcav troop into them or a Pharaoh into them and strip their TC, they're just going to bounce. But how Chris has them kitted, I think is very good.
Yeah.
You know,
and take out a Pharaoh in one turn.
That's what I'm saying. The hitting on 2s and then also being able to wind up Elvenkind around something. He has the Stampedes kitted to basically avoid what their weakness is, right? Which is getting charged by something faster and then just grinding with them.
I think the Pharaoh, if I was going to do anything with it, again, should probably go punch those Elven Chariots. There's nothing better in the list to punch.
Right.
And on top of that, the Elven Chariots don't have much in the list to shoot. Like, everything's defense 5 or doesn't give a shit.
That's true.
But Soul Reavers is one of those units that if you let it get sideways on you even a little bit, forget about it, man.
Yeah.
They're just going to chomp through.
Especially since Rashad normally runs one of his Soul Reavers with Chalice of Wrath, and he hasn't this time. And wavered Soul Reavers are dead Soul Reavers.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went Brew of Haste, which, I mean, Rashad is known for running double Soul Reaver Cav, but usually he will do Sharpness and Rat. I've never seen him run Haste on it before, so I'm not sure if that's just something in playtesting he likes it or, nothing's worse than having your Soul Reavers get wavered.
Yeah. Gonna be interesting.
I do like a lot of people don't like the BSB with Diadem because you can't move it to double as far as because it's shambling, but I think the BSB with Diadem and Undead actually is a really nice little piece.
Yep. If you're not doing anything else, you might as well do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then you're still dash, so you know what I mean. You can still get in front of something.
Best 13, like he'll survive against smaller pieces.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I really like that piece as a nice piece. And Borrow Whites are so good. I mean, that's tough to I guess my only issue with Borrow Whites is they get stronger the more surge you have, and he does have the Necro, and he has 2 other pieces that can surge, the Pharaoh and the King on a Worm, but I doubt that's what he really wants to use them for.
Pharaoh may not have many better options. Like,
It's true.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
unless
can't
he
really-
wants. Yeah.
And a Revenant Cavalry are going to be super great.
Oh, they're one of the best chaff pieces in the game, and Rashad uses them so well. All of the moving sideways, surging, you can do so many cool shenanigans with Rev Cav troops.
yeah.
You're correct.
No, they're a very good unit. I just don't think they're going to stand up very long to. I mean, again, he only has 2 of them, so he's got to throw them in at the right time. Because
That's his chaff, basically, right?
Yeah.
That and the Pharaoh and the King on the Worm can be used as a chaff piece, and some, everything's chaff, right? But
So can the Chimeras too. I mean,
yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Chris has
Those are all cheap enough that you don't mind throwing them away.
yeah. When Soul Reavers are on the table, everything is cheap.
Yeah.
but I love this list. You have 2 people who are playing armies they're known for, right? Rashad is known for playing Undead, and Chris is known for playing Hurt. So you have 2 masters playing the armies, not just that got them there this year, but the armies that they're known for. I think that's cool.
Yeah, it is. Let's do some votes. Jeremy, what do you think?
I think it's close, but I gotta go with my region, and I'm gonna pick Rashad on this one. Don't let me down, buddy.
Alrighty, Ryan.
Oh man. Can we say it's going to be a draw?
No,
No.
we've covered that already.
I've been the one saying it. I think I'm going to go with Chris on this one.
Okay. Pat.
I'm going to go with Chris. I think he has the tools to be able to isolate and destroy those Stampede, or those Soul Reavers by his Stampede.
Gotcha. Mike.
I think Chris can win it if he can take out both regiments of Soul Reaver Cavalry by turn 3. So I think Rashad is actually going to win this game because I don't think that's possible.
Rashad can take out both Stampedes by the top of turn 3 and win it.
He definitely can.
Matt.
I'm gonna give it to Chris. I hate to vote against Rashad, but I really like the amount of counterpunch here, and I think he's gonna have just enough chaff to win it through.
Gotcha. Corey.
Yep, I got to go with Chris. I think he has all the tools to deliver everything he needs to.
Sounds good. Good little table there. Alrighty. We are
Really
jumping over the
quick.
table. What's up?
Mark,
Yes.
Ryan went back and voted for Mike Austin on table 23, so you have to be a tiebreaker.
Oh, motherfucker.
You mean pull the list up real quick?
No, I remember the list. God, this is going to get me a lot of shit, but I'm actually going to go with Mike Austin on that one. I don't think it's going to be a big win either way, but I think Mike's got a few tools in there that he can deal with what Nick's bringing to the table. Not that Nick has a terrible list. Nick has a really good list. Yeah, give me the Twilight, Ken.
All right.
Sorry. All right, let's jump into 28. We have Mr. Dustin Super Beast Howard, hailing from the south, running his
Apparently had hair one
Empire
point.
of Dest. Oh yeah, dude, that motherfucker had loads of hair.
Freedom.
Playing against Andrew Summers from the Midwest, rocking his Abyssals. Corey, you have Dustin's list, and Ryan, you'll have Andrew's list, or I can read it either way.
All right, so I've got Dustin's list. So we've got 2 hordes of skeleton warriors, one with the banner of the griffin. We've got 2 hordes of revenant chariots, one with the potion of the caterpillar. 3 bone giants, 1 bone dragon, 1 cursed high priest with heal 4 and a mount and shroud of the saint. We've got Shobik, we've got Mortibris, and then we've got Funny Bone.
All the special characters.
Mm-hmm.
Pat,
Brutal
next slide,
and
please.
dread.
thank you, sir.
Thank you. On the other side, we've got Andrew Summers. Andrew's running his Abyssal Dwarves. He's got a horde of slave orcs. He's got 2 gargoyles. He's got 2 lesser obsidian golem hordes. He's got a slave orc gore rider regiment with the staying stone. He's got an abyssal half-breed regiment with caterpillar, a grotesque with the brew of sharpness, 2 dragonfire teams, a slave driver, a half-breed champ with the blade of slashing, and all the special characters, Basusu, Dravik Dalkin, and Infernok.
A lot of special characters in this matchup.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the one thing Infernok does not want to see on the other side of the table is Shobik.
Right.
Yeah.
Honestly, the Abyssal Dwarves have a lot of punch in the right spots, but it's limited. The Golems are limited because they hit on 4s. But they're going to be a good counter to the Bone Giants. This list that Dustin's bringing is a little bit different than the one that I'm used to seeing him run, which had a lot more priests with a lot more heal.
Still got a 12 heal, 18 heal if you include Shobik's heal.
Yeah. Shobik might actually be healing this match for the first couple turns. I mean, Iron Resolve is going to help a lot.
It's Dustin's list it's a teeth kicker. There's just so much punch in all those little 50 mil bases, and he plays what he likes to trademark as the box of death.
Yeah.
Where you just can't get 50 millimeter bases are hard enough to double charge, and the way he plays them, it's almost impossible.
Yeah.
Then you combo the brewer and the bone. And
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
that's
I have been having so much fun with that. It is so good.
And in those skeleton warrior hordes, it's just super cheap nerve. The banner of Griffin has such a wide range; it covers virtually everything.
Yeah. It's going to be a bunch of Dash 20 giants.
yeah, there's just not enough attacks in the Abyssal Dwarf list to chew through it reasonably, you know?
I mean,
And Abyssal Dwarf list, it looks pretty good, looks pretty solid, and it does have a good amount of crush.
Just doesn't
I
have
just
any
don't think
early
it has enough.
reach. Like,
Yeah.
He's not putting wounds on anything early, so that when he gets there, he can finish it off in a go.
Right.
He's literally got to fight it from almost nothing.
And that's exactly what Dustin wants.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Early reach doesn't help too much because Mortibris would have curtailed a lot of that. That combined with Iron Resolve.
It would have helped. Yeah.
pretty much the only thing in here that I think, well, not even the grotesque unit with the brew of sharpness is going to be enough to pop a thing in the first turn.
Nah.
So he's going to get stuck grinding, and that's the last thing he wants to do.
Well, that's kind of like the point of, and Dustin sort of designed this list, right?
Yeah.
He's the architect of this style of Empire of Dust. And that's basically its magic, right? Is feel free to hit me. You're not going to kill me. And then I'm going to eat your face in the counter response.
Well, he doesn't even have to counter respond. He moves something out of the way. The thing that you hit moves, and then I can move something else in your way. So now we've got a fresh fight, and then you can heal or whatever else. Yeah, it's tough.
Like, besides the Skeleton Warriors, none of Dustin's units have like super high nerve, but they're all small enough that you can't double charge them. Very few units in a game is gonna kill a bone giant in one go.
Yep.
And when you have that much heal behind it, it's a hard matchup.
He also has the long range shooting. Like, I hate to use chariots as an example, but he does have 2 regiments or 2 hordes of them, so that's 32 bow shots. And it's not going to do jack to any of the obsidian golems or the hammer units, but it'll pick out those dragonfire teams and the gargoyles.
Those half-breeds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're only defense 4.
He might hide those.
Should be able to keep him in cover.
Yeah.
But I mean, as you say, you just shoot on 7s and get a couple picks off.
I don't think that works on that regiment. I think it does pick out these gargoyles, though, pretty quickly. I don't think those are going to...
Oh, yeah, the half-breeds have regen, don't they?
Yeah.
Yep.
And the grotesques, like you said, with sharpness, they hit like a truck, but there's going to be, with how Dustin can stagger his infantry line, there's just nowhere he can get that in, really. It's going to be able...
Even if the Abyssal half-breeds hit flat on in open terrain with no hindered against a bone giant, a fresh bone giant, on their own, they will still not kill it. They'd have to hit with every single attack. And then maybe. But on 3s, you're not going to see that. You're going to see 12 hits, maybe 12 wounds, and then it's an 8 twice. And he's not going to, it's probably going to stick. And he's going to get a wound back, and then a wound back the next turn.
I mean, if he can roll high nerves, he can do it. But then there's 2 other bone giants in Shobik.
I mean, if I could roll high dice, I'd be in Masters. So
Basusu's gonna have his hands full though.
Yeah.
Too bad there's only one.
Yep.
I like how this match you have Dustin, who looks like he could kill you, and Andrew Summers, who looks like a nice guy, but he probably could kill you. He was special forces, or I don't know if I'm even allowed to talk about that, but
he looks like Billy Mays.
Yeah. And I know last year there was a thing in one of Andrew's games where he said he had this crazy, if this happens, this happens, this happens, and this happens, I'm going to win. And if that does, I'm going to rip my shirt off and run around the room. And all those things happen. Oh my God,
yeah, he did
and
that.
He ripped his shirt off and ran around the room. So if both these guys could get their shirts off in this game, oh man.
I think we're all the winners there.
I'm going to start questioning things in my life. So.
All right. Let's vote. Jeremy.
I'm going to go with Dustin.
Okay. Ryan?
I'm also going to go with Dustin.
Pat?
Dustin's my favorite to win in Masters, between him and Brad, so I'm going with Dustin.
Yeah, I was going to say, odds are you're picking Dustin then. Mike?
Yeah, I'm going to go Dustin as well.
Okay. Matt?
Yeah, I gave Dustin an edge here.
Corey?
I think it's Dustin Big.
Alrighty. That would be a landslide. Some of you need to be drinking. All right. Let's go with table 29. We have Brenton Williams from the West Coast. Or I guess he's playing for the West Coast, right?
No, he's
from West Coast. Okay, sorry. I always get y'all mixed up with somebody else.
It's a former Alamo champion right there.
Yeah. I wasn't there that year. He's bringing...
Whose fault was that?
Mine.
Wasn't mine.
Mine?
Yeah, it was.
Okay, just making sure. He's bringing Orcs, so he has a uphill battle in store for him that weekend. He's playing Jeff Shilkin, coming from the Midwest, playing Dwarves. So you've got a classic Dwarf on Orc battle, and I have Brenton's list. Let me pull those up. West Coast. The hell is he doing? Alrighty, he has 2 hordes of axe. One of them has sharpness. One of them has the caterpillar. He has 2 hordes of trolls. He has a regiment of gore riders. He has a horde of fight wagons with brew of strength. He has 1 god speaker, Bane Chant 2, mounted on a gore with alchemist curse. He has another god speaker, heal 2, mounted on a gore, alchemist cursed on him also, and the inspiring talisman. And finally, he has a 3rd god speaker, heal 2, mounted on a gore, alchemist cursed, shroud of the saint. Nice. I like that combo. He has Gakamak, mounted. He has a giant, and he has a war drum. This is a really solid fucking orc list.
Oh, yeah.
That's probably going to be what, heal 9, maybe even 10 on that Shroud of the Saint guy?
Uh-huh. Probably. Not to mention all the alchemist curse.
And that's
Yep.
it.
All right. And who had...
I have Brenton's list.
Okay.
Or, sorry, not Brenton. Jeff's list.
Yeah.
I'm looking at... It's not in easy army format, so it's a little funky for me. He's got... Pat, would you actually throw up your...
Sorry, just really quick. Screw you, Jeff, for setting that weird-ass format.
I was like, what format is this? So he's got a Bulwarker's Horde with the Potion of the Caterpillar. He's got 3 Earth Elemental Hordes, 1 with Healing Brew. He's got a Mastiff Hunting Pack, 3 Flame Belchers, a Steel Behemoth, Golok's Fury, the other Steel Behemoth, a King, who may or may not have wings. I'll let you guess. 2 Stone Priests, both with Martyr's Prayer. One has the Inspiring Talisman, the other has the Banner of the Griffin. It's a very, very tanky list.
Brenton is just loving this with all that alchemist cursed. Just loving it.
Yeah. It's like the one thing that can pry open defense 6 is a can opener.
His Alchemist Curse 30 is probably pretty good.
Yeah. Probably
Against
okay.
Yeah.
Defense 6.
Yeah, because those god speakers are getting the bonuses on that
Yep.
spell, too.
Yep.
And the way he plays that list, he's very effective with it. So, yeah.
Holy shit.
This list is really nasty. I played against this list a lot. It's very difficult if you don't have tools to deal with the God Speaker battery. It's just so good. And I know a lot of people talk about Drain Life as opposed to Alchemist Curse, but the extra range on the Alchemist Curse is just devastating.
Drain Life is more of a counter-reactive spell. The Alchemist Curse, you can actually, move up and get a first shot off, especially against dwarves.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
could be a better
I was
match.
thinking he was going to have a hard time when I saw Orcs, but then I opened the list and I was like, holy shit, never mind.
And he would have qualified for Masters last year, but he had a baby. Britton did, so he definitely opted out. But yeah, he is a great player and an amazing hobbyist. He's got a lot of stuff planned for this list, so this is definitely one to make sure you check out when you're looking at hobby at the event.
Nice
Sorry, I
little
didn't mean to
shameless
cut you
plug.
off earlier,
Thank
Corey.
you.
Corey, were you going to say something? I was cutting you off. I'm sorry.
No, I think I was just going to say Britton is loving this matchup. He couldn't be happier.
Yeah. I'm looking at Jeff's list and just trying to figure out how he beats this orc list, like with what he has.
He puts a billion breath on the God Speakers when he has the opportunity. If that happens, then it's a very different game. But
He should never get the opportunity.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to be easy. But
Golok's
that's what he's got to do.
Golok might be able to pick off a God Speaker.
Golok has the
Golok's
potential
the
to
only
pick
one.
one up.
Yeah.
And the
Steel
Flying
Behemoth
King
and
can
the
shut him
Golok.
down.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
Steel Behemoth and Golics and the Flame Belchers could one-shot a Orc Horde.
Yeah, it's a lot of breath.
Yeah. It's gonna come down to terrain. Possibly scenario. This dwarf list is slow as sin. Like, I mean, it's dwarves, but you don't even have Brocks in this list.
I mean, those
Aside from
orcs
the
are going to be
king.
chasing them down, though, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to get on top of you pretty quick if they have their way.
And I mean, if Brenton doesn't pick up one of these guys, he's got double Martyr's Prayer in order to bring him back up.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got to kill stuff on the shot.
Yeah. Because Brenton doesn't have very... I mean, he has Gakamak to try to hunt Martyr guys.
Well, he's.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got to make Jeff make the choice, right? So Jeff's choice the next turn is going to be, well, am I going to Surge or am I going to Martyr's Prayer?
Yeah.
So it'll depend on how that plays out, too.
And the Stone Priests are also def 5. If he wants to fling Alchemist Curse that way, it'll be pretty effective.
He's probably not going to be able to see them being height 1 and all.
Yeah.
Behind that Earth Elementals.
Well, actually, I take that back. Weren't those God Speakers mounted?
Speakers are
Yeah,
mounted.
They're mounted.
they were mounted. Never mind.
Unless they're behind the Earth Elementals, I don't think he'll still be able to see over them.
I don't think he's going to be seeing him because he's got 3 Earth Elemental hordes.
Yeah. And
The thing is, I don't think the Bulwarkers and the Earth Elementals can kill just straight up the axe fast enough.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, God forbid they roll invade because this dwarf list is never crossing the table. Like, the fastest thing in the list would be marching speed 4.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah. Sorry, no, there's
I know
one.
that
on
massive
the
tank.
axe. Yeah. Go Mastiffs. You got this. Speed 6.
Get over there, puppies.
Hey, those masses are feeling pretty good against that Alchemist Curse.
Right, defense 3, baby.
The one time it felt good to forget your shirt at home.
I think Godspeakers come with Fireball base, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they do.
That's not going to be a good time.
It is. Just had it. I literally just had it up.
Yep.
Fireball 9. So, be,
Fireball 13.
yeah, 11,
Actually.
12, 13, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
Depending on how compact he plays.
I don't like
that Fight
this
Wagon
new
Horde
order.
is going to mess some stuff up.
Yeah, just a little bit of shooting to get it a little lower before it before it gets across the field. Would have been nice.
The Fight Wagons might pick up an Earth Elemental Horde straight up.
Yeah.
Yep, they really might.
And I think he's going to be tempted to want to try to deal with that fight wagon so that breath goes that, he has a lot of breath, but I think it's going to be tough. What do I choose to shoot at?
I don't think he has to isolate to any one thing. And I think that's part of the problem. If he could isolate to one thing, if I crack this, then I can crack the rest of the army.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have that luxury with this because those acts are still pretty formidable. And the Gore Riders probably going to swing around to flank or something. And those trolls are sticky as shit. They're not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
So
Also, at speed 4, you don't really have the luxury of isolating. You just
Sure.
have, like,
Yeah.
what walks into my range?
Yeah. It'll be an interesting game. It's going to come down to very careful positioning, I think, more than anything else.
yeah, which Jeff is good at that. So
Yeah.
I mean, that he may have a little bit of an edge there if he can pull off some interesting angles and short distances. Let's jump into votes. Jeremy, what are you thinking?
Alchemist Curse is just so good at this matchup. I mean, it's going to be tough. So I'm going to go with Britton.
Okay, Ryan.
Same comment. I got Brenton in this one.
Okay. Pat.
I have Brenton. He just has, between Alchemist Curse and all that crush, he has perfect can openers.
Matt.
I never wanted to vote for Alchemist Cursed in my life, and I'm sticking with that. I think Jeff's positioning is going to pay off, and he's going to shoot every single wizard off the table.
Okay. Corey.
I got to go with Brenton. Not enough attacks in that dwarf list to chew through all that nerve.
Alrighty. We are jumping on to table 30.
Mike, did you vote?
No, actually, no. I
Oh
didn't
shit,
vote
did
on
I
this one.
skip you, Mike? Man, I'm sorry, dude.
No, it's cool. I'm gonna go with Brenton, although I'm disappointed to see an orc list without any skulks.
One track mind on this guy. Okay, now we're going to table 30. We have Mr. Brian Tucker, hailing from the Southeast, playing his Undead, versus Matt Schaefer from the Midwest, playing Varangur.
Okay, so I have Brian's list.
Yes, sir.
He is playing Undead. He's got a regiment of skeleton warriors. He's got a horde of revenants, 2 troops of wraiths. He's got a regiment of mummies with brew of courage, werewolves with brew of strength, a horde of wights. He's got a revenant king on a worm, flying worm with mace of crushing, cursed pharaoh with wings of the honey maze, Morgoth. So I think this is the second Morgoth we've seen the event, and
right.
a horde of barrow wights.
Low unit strength on that.
Very elite list.
Yeah.
All right, and then Matt Schaefer on the other side has Varangur. He has a regiment of Bloodsworn with the Healing Brew, a Fallen Horde with the Dwarven Ale, regiment of Mounted Sons with the Fury Gift and Pathfinder, a horde of Fury Direfangs, a Cavern Dweller, 2 King on Chimeras. Both of them have Fury. One of them has the Blade of Slashing, and then Magnilda the Fallen.
Why does it
And
have
then
the blade of slashing?
5 points.
And then some allies. He's got a horde of Darkside Chariots and a troop of Gargoyles.
Awkward silence.
So it should be 17 in strength, not 19.
I was gonna say that seemed like a lot.
Yeah, I was like, wow, that's pretty
For 10 drops, that's a lot.
efficient.
You got 2 really elite lists going against each other,
Yeah, they are.
but one has 2 kings on chimeras.
That always helps.
Yep.
Brian does have a lot of nerve and a lot of defense, but the Varangur have a lot of crush.
A lot of punch.
Right?
You know, a lot of attacks.
Interesting.
And I count 16 unit strength on Matt's.
It's the nimble on the fallen.
I mean, this will be interesting just for how few pieces there are on the board.
Yeah, everything that dies, it's just going to be a quick attrition.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be interesting to see if this game gets to turn 5.
I think it's going to swing hard one way, and then it's going to just go.
Then just be decided. Be decided at that point, yeah.
Well, you think the dam's going to break on like turn 3?
So a lot of dancing for the first few turns, and then somebody's going to just go for it.
Yeah, it might last in longer turns because besides that Fallen and that Werewolves, it's mostly a slow list on both sides. We have the Fallen and the Mounted Sons. I guess you have the Chimeras as well. Never mind.
Yeah, they're gonna be rolling around there pretty good.
Yeah,
Those chimeras are definitely pretty key here.
And you have Magnilda to go after Morgoth too.
Yeah, I don't see more. I mean, again, here's the problem with Morgoth. He's 270 points of very expensive.
Yep.
The moment you disrupt him, he's not nearly as useful.
Yeah, and his spell toolkit is amazing, but like Ryan said, you put 1 point of damage on him, and he's just okay. What am I going to go sit in front of?
with Mags being height 1 and Morgoth being height 1, it's just they're going to be playing grab ass all game. But Morgoth is flying, so he can keep out of sight decently easily. And the Pharaoh can take on Magnil, and he'll win that battle.
Maybe.
Yeah, the only thing
but
that I
you've
fear-
got fewer units on the board, so there's going to be a lot more sight lanes that he's going to have to worry about.
My issue with this Undead list is that you've got the Wights, the Werewolves, and the Borrow Wights as like your big hitters, right? Like mummies will grind for all day, especially like Dash 19 Brew of Courage mummies. Jesus. But everything else is mostly tanky. I mean, the Revenants can definitely fight.
Yep.
But if any of those units break hard, which with the Mounted Sons of Korgon unit and Direfang Riders is definitely quite possible, and 2 Kings on Chimeras can get in there really easy, make some double charges happen.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have to use those Wraiths as chaff to really keep everything off him.
Or as collateral afterwards. He might end up relying on those as secondary hammers if he can surge them in.
Yeah.
Does he have a lot of surge?
He does. He's got Surge 12 for Morgoth, the Pharaoh, and the Revenant King.
He's got 24 between his Revenant King and Pharaoh.
They're not doing anything if they're waiting around to surge too.
But even if he's hiding Morgoth from Magnilda, behind a height 2 thing, what can Morgoth see now? You know, he could run.
He has heal and he has surge. So even if he's not casting his firebolt or his lightning bolt, he's got stuff to do.
Yeah, like he effectively has a 22-inch surge in either direction. That's a 44-inch bubble that he can reach and touch, like in a single turn. 12 surge is not bad either. That's enough to actually make some flying stuff happen.
Mm-hmm.
Magnild essentially keeps Morgoth from using his breath very effectively.
Yeah.
But after like turn 1, he maybe tosses a lightning bolt, and then turn 2 onwards, he's probably going to hide and do support stuff.
Is the breath really that vital at this point anyway? I mean,
there's not much in that undead list.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot for you to really want to throw breath at in this list. Like all that stuff is like defense 5, right? Most of it.
Yeah.
Maybe
it's not going to be that big a deal. The lightning bolt, you try to use lightning bolt to pick off gargoyles if he left them out, or put a couple wounds on the chariots.
But not the breath weapon is what I'm saying. Like he's not throwing fireball.
Yeah.
At least not effectively.
Mm-hmm.
Again, though, there's my favorite unit to punch with a Flying Pharaoh. It's another unit of Dark Side Chariots.
So many.
Just go poke it, and it's useless.
All right.
Yeah, Pharaoh take out a chariot over a couple turns.
Let's hop into votes. Jeremy.
I'm going to go with Matt.
Okay. Ryan.
I'm also going to go with Matt.
Pat.
I'm going to go with Brian.
Okay. Mike?
I'm going with Matt.
Matt.
I'm probably actually going to throw in with Brian.
Alrighty. Corey?
I think I'm going to go with Matt.
Pretty balanced. Alrighty. Are we ready for the next table?
Heck yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Corey, are you really ready for the next table?
I'm really ready.
Anything you want to say before we start this table, Corey?
I am so very excited for this game. So very excited.
I can hear it in your joy, the joy in your voice.
Okay, so table 31, we have our friend on the cast, Corey Reynolds, from the Northeast, playing Ratkin, against the reigning champion, Alex Chavez, from the Mid-Atlantic, playing Abyssals this time.
Corey, you want to flip it and read your own list, and I'll read Alex's?
Sure.
Just for grins?
You got it. So I'll take my Ratkin list. I've got 3 regiments of tunnel slaves, 2 hordes of tunnel slaves, 2 hordes of shock troops, 1 with a brew of strength, 2 hordes of blight, 3 claw shot troops, 2 enforcers mounted, a swarm crier with the loot, and then 2 regiments of mounted sons, 1 with fury.
Oof.
Wait, what? I had to do this 3 times. Did I correctly, is that 31 unit strength?
You are correct.
Wait, what?
I did not believe that, but damn.
12 from just the tunnel saves, yeah.
This is gross.
12 unit strength and under 400 points.
Jesus Christ.
So you're pulling for Dominate.
Yeah, oh heck yeah.
Control would be fine too. Just anything unit strength based, really.
Strength-based scenario would be awesome.
Oh
Like
my
the
god.
Storm Crier with Loot of Darkness.
The other side, you've got Alex Chavez running his Forces of the Abyss. He has lower Abyssal Horde with the swap out for shields for two-handed weapons, so they're a little more punchy. 3 Succubi regiments. One gets Caterpillar, one gets Fire Oil. He's got a Horde of Molochs. He's got 2 regiments of Tortured Souls in the Jeffrey Swan tradition. He's got an Abyssal Harbinger with the Loot of Insatiable Darkness. The Loot. He's got 2 Efreet, one of whom comes with a Heart-Seeking Chant, because they come standard with that for the first one. He has a Well of Souls, and he has a Winged Archfiend with the Blade of Slashing. And coming in at almost half the unit strength.
Amen, brother.
Only 16.
So this is a really interesting matchup because a lot of Alex's list is perfect for killing rats. Like the Succubi and
I don't know that Corey likes you saying that.
No, the Succubi are legit. Obviously,
Yes, they are.
planned on like facing trash meta at Masters. They are perfect for that.
it's going to be really interesting. I mean, they can they're not going to get, they shouldn't at least get stalled on a Teleslave regiment, which is what you always worry about.
They really shouldn't.
Not with that.
And especially with their 2 Efreet running around, like those slaves are going to be dropping pretty quickly.
Well, the
But
Efreets,
then you have
the
all
Blight
the
Hordes
other
have to worry
stuff
about those too.
Corey's list.
Yep.
Yeah. That said, I mean, the other benefit of these Succubi is that they can probably tank those hordes. Like, Blight only hit on 4s, and he doesn't have Pathfinder. You hit trees with Ensnare.
That's right.
Yeah, you get a 6s on 30 attacks. Woo!
If Alex can keep his Well of Souls safe and pulling wounds off,
Yeah.
then yeah, it's gonna be pretty hard to actually get some of the stuff down.
I mean, and it's worth saying those claw shots are definitely going to help.
Yeah, that's true.
Those claw shots are gonna be money, and I love those units.
And I think it's being overlooked. There are 2 regiments of Sons of Korgon mounted here that are just gonna.
Yep. Just kind of peeking around behind.
Well, you're looking at the list, and you're like, "Wow, this list is pretty good." And then you get to 2 Mounted Sons regiments.
It's
I
just
mean,
like-
before you even get to that.
Yeah, you're happy with it as a list, and then you see the allies, and you're like, oh wait, it's even better now.
Yeah, there's 500 points of get your face punched to death.
Well, I will agree with Pat though. The Well of Souls is a game changer if you can use it really effectively. It is, if you get maximum value with that thing, it can be just change the whole flank, or a whole section of the board.
He definitely has, there's a lot of stuff for Alex to charge with that well to try to heal it back up.
Yeah.
But
There's
Corey
not
does also have a good amount of stuff to pick off that well with.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's if you give that well a flank, it's going to be right back to full. I mean,
Yeah.
Real quick.
It's gonna take some good positioning with the well and the Archfiend, I think, especially with those 2 knights running around. Because I mean, shock troops are still shock troops. I don't even think Ensnare on the Succubi would save a charge from one of those units.
Probably not.
Because
Because
you don't need
on
that.
2s re-rolling, any hits you get is going to be a wound.
Yeah, like may not be many hits, but each and every one of them is gonna hurt.
And when you get to the 10, 15 plus more unit strength than your opponent, I mean, that is just very. I mean, you're starting the game if you're playing a unit strength mission. You're starting the game behind.
Yep.
Already.
I literally
If
don't
you're
have to
playing
kill-
that scenario, though, yeah.
Right. If
Yeah.
I get the right scenario, I literally don't have to kill anything.
No, you can just set your stuff up where you want it to be and be like, okay, you have 6 turns, maybe 7. Good luck.
I'm legitimately trying to think if Alex can kill all of your stuff. If you just straight up don't even charge back,
he just sits there.
Push everything in the middle of the table.
could he kill everything?
The answer is yes.
Even the Sun's regiments are really durable too. I mean, minus all the hordes,
Yeah.
the Sun
The
regiments are
Suns will be
durable.
pretty good. The Suns are a good add-in. I like that.
I feel like Alex can, but I don't think very many. Like, I think there are definitely lists who wouldn't be able to kill this amount of rats.
You're
in
correct.
6 turns.
There are.
I do think with just how many slaves, like we said that it would be very easy to pop those units with what he's got on the table, but the trick is that he still has to take a turn to do that.
Yep.
And I think that gives a pretty big positioning advantage to Corey in the long run, just because of how much he can dictate where things are going to have to go.
And that's assuming those succubi aren't hindered and don't have a bad roll.
Right. Hey, Nubby.
What the hell is that?
Get out of here, Navi.
That's his ringtone.
Awesome. I learn so much about him every day.
Yeah, I know.
But Alex is the master, though, too, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
For
Yeah.
sure.
that's
What was his record? 9-2-1. Did I see that correctly?
Correct.
Go back to the picture and look at how uncomfortable.
Why are you taking a picture of me?
No, it's like people are touching me.
My beer shirt is not protecting me the way it protects others.
Mike Austin just tries to hug me all the time.
So Alex apparently is known for his pre, mid, and post game shit breaks. So that might be why he's so uncomfortable in that photo.
You think he's mid turtle head? Is that why?
He's prairie dogging it probably.
Just take the picture. I want to go to the bathroom. All right, let's vote.
This is going to be, first of all, this is what I'm going to vote on for putting on the stream. I think this is going to be a really interesting matchup.
Jeremy.
I don't know how you vote against the previous year's master in the first round. I really don't know how you do it, but it's just like you said. If he killed a unit with every one of his units starting in turn 2, he would still like be way under unit strength. I mean,
No way.
I think only because he was the master last year, I gotta go with him, even though it's going to be real rough. So I'll vote Alex.
Would you vote that if it was just paper on paper and
Not at all.
And we were not telling you the players?
No, I would vote
Okay.
for
We've got
Corsair for
legacy.
sure.
We've got Peyton Manning cred here. Legacy cred.
Yeah, you know, he's the master till he ain't the master no more. You know, so I'll vote for Alex.
I think that's a fun concept. Maybe we do that next go around. We do blind paper matchups and then find out who it is after we do our votes and then
The
see
only
if it
problem
changes.
is everyone in the South I know the list of.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you could suspension of disbelief. Anyway,
Exempt yourself.
yeah.
Now, have you been playing this list this year, Corey, or is a variant of this?
Yep, I've been playing this list all year.
Okay, and just smashing face, I'm assuming.
I haven't lost with it yet.
Yeah.
I've got a question for you before we continue voting. What's the model count like on those tunnel slave units?
It's not some bullshit minimum model count.
Oh shit!
We talking 30?
It's like 27, 28, 30.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
I was playing rats before Kings of War, so I had a lot of this already.
Nice.
Any
Alright.
answer
Scary
other
list.
than minimum model count would be better.
Back to the vote, Ryan.
So, Jeremy, you asked how you can vote against Alex Cha. It's really easy. I'm going to vote for Corey Reynolds
Yes,
There you
sir.
go.
because I think
You-
it's going to come down to scenario, and I think unit strength is going to be important in the scenario. And Alex is great, but I look at his list and go, "This looks like the kind of list I would build when I was drunk." And that's
You teach me so much, Ryan, every day.
it's a solid list, but it's the kind of list I would build while drunk, and that means it's probably going to screw up if he's sober. In game 1, he's going to be sober.
I like
What would
that.
Lennon say about this matchup? I need to hear the impersonation again.
I'm not doing it.
Pat.
So I legitimately think whoever wins this matchup is in my top 3 for winning Masters. I like these lists, both of them.
Wow.
And also we know that Alex has done it before.
Yeah, true.
That said, Alex, like this matchup against Corey's list, you cannot have bad dice against. And Corey can have bad dice and still win.
Oh, I
think
can't
we
have
go
bad
for
dice
it.
with rats.
Mike.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Corey on this one, and it's interesting because Corey's got a lot of drops, and we haven't really talked much about clocks. I think it's actually going to be harder for Alex on clock because he's going to have to roll at least 1,000 dice if he wants to win this game.
Yep.
Just start giving him flanks out of pity. Here you go. You take all that extra time.
Would you like your rear?
Oh no, a rear.
Here, succubi in the rear.
You
Roll
got
it
me.
out.
Contacts, love it.
Somebody give
You
me a
want to double
bucket.
charge that?
Matt.
I think Corey's list would have been a good one to fight up Dustin's Box of Death, which that on its own should tell you that I think it's Corey. This is a good list.
This list is not what Brad or Dustin want to see. Is Corey's list.
Every time I've scrolled, like I have it open on a different screen. Every time I scroll down the list, I'm like, oh, this is okay. And then I get to the 2 Mountain Sons of Corey. It's like, oh.
Corey, do you want to vote here or do you want to abstain?
I am going to say Alex's list is like the one list that does give me the biggest heartache because it's designed to do something against horde armies. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm still picking me.
Oh, there you go. Confidence.
Swagger. So did I count that right? Did the reigning master only get 1 vote?
He did.
Ouch. Boy.
Disrespect. We gave him bulletin board material right there.
Wow. He's going to put that up in the toilet wall. He's going to shit so hard thinking about that. All right. We're going to go to the final table now. So I'm going to finish this vodka real quick. Table 32. We have Brad McKay from the South region playing Twilight Kin. Brad is speaking of
I'm
crapping.
not laughing at like anything on the screen. Felix Castro thinks Mike's voice is like his ears taking a bath in warm chocolate. Just want to put that out to everybody. If no one's paying attention to
Felix.
Mike looks like he's taking a bath in warm chocolate because he's falling asleep.
I do my best.
That's usually my role in these
He's
things.
just so relaxed. He's just sitting there, just kind of.
Yeah, little by little, I just kind of slide further back, and then I have to wake up again.
Just
Felix
a little further.
He's just trying to seduce him down into his murder basement, is what's
There you
happening.
Come down to the tickle dungeon. Speaking of tickle dungeons, Brad is going to be bringing Patrick Justice from the Southeast with his elves into Brad's tickle dungeon. So let's get to it. I think Pat, you've got Brad's list. If you want to read that.
Honestly, I didn't realize I have a list. But yeah,
I threw you a curveball, you son of a bitch. I was like, you don't get to do this without reading at least one list.
Brad's list is dirty. It's what
Surely not.
anybody who's thinking like, oh, Kings of War might be a fun game. You know, I might want to try it out. Just let's keep them away from Brad, like for their own sake. It's 4 Dark Side Chariot hordes with Heartseek Enchant, the Caterpillar, and Fire Oil. An Archfiend with Wings and Lightning Bolt. 3 Black Dragons with Haste and Slashing, and then a troop of Gargoyles. It is just about as dojo of a list as you can get, which every single thing in that list is optimized and the like ideal choice. Why take anything other than chariots when chariots are fight and shoot amazing?
Dojo's final form.
Yeah, pretty much.
until cock 19, they go to something else. Hey, how do you spell dragon?
That's the so everybody needs a drink now.
That's why I did it. All right.
Black Crown.
Let's see. Okay, I've got Patrick Justice's list. Give me a second. He's rocking good guy elves. He has a troop of Silver Breeze Cav. He has a regiment of Stormwind Cav. They have Caterpillar. 2 hordes of Dracons. 2 regiments of Chariots. He has a single Elven Mage. He's given him Banechant 2, Fireball 10. He's mounted him on a horse. And he's given him the Shroud of the Saint to round him out. I like that Shroud of the Saint. It's awesome. He has an Elven King. He's mounted him. And he's given him the Blade of Slashing. He has an Elven Prince. He's mounted him. He's mounting a lot of people. He has a Dragon Kindred Lord with the Boots of Levitation. He has a Dracon Rider Lord with Blade of the Beast Slayer.
That is wrong. It's not a second dragon. It's a Dracon. Misspelled that.
Oh, did I say Dracon?
No, it is a Dracon.
Yeah, because I was going to say it's Dracon. If I didn't say that, that was my mistake. And then finally, he has purchased the legendary Silver Breeze Cavalry
Special unit.
which have windborne arrows. I don't know what those do.
It's
Anybody?
wind blast whenever they hit.
Oh,
Wind
those are
blast
fucking
arrows.
cool.
Yeah.
They're awesome. They're awesome.
Well, Brad's going to shoot those first.
Yeah. 2 fast cav in here being deleted. Like,
So Brad has 92 shots that hit on 4s. 20 of them being lightning bolt.
And vicious. Don't forget the vicious.
yep. And lightning bolt. So a chunk of those are gonna be piercing.
Oh yeah, yeah. And those have vicious too.
Yep. It really pains me to say this, that Brad's list is everything that I wanted out of my list, just better. But I don't think there are ways to beat that list, I think.
Now these are really interesting Night Stalkers because they all have elite and they have inspiring.
He was just wishing that they were Night Stalkers.
Yeah,
in this
at this
matchup.
point, yeah, you kind of do want to trade it out, right?
There are ways to beat Brad's list, and there are armies that can definitely beat it, but I don't think this one has a chance. There's just so many bow shots that are going to come out, and even if he could move the chariots and still pick up all the counter shooting that's in this regular elf list, and there's just nothing that can deal with 4 dragons. Like,
Yeah, that's the problem. I mean, this elf list is really cool. It's
yeah,
balanced.
it's like it's a good list against some of these other ones.
Yeah, but just doesn't hold up underneath this pressure.
Yeah,
Under pressure.
the war chariots are cool. I like that they're in regiments. I think that not enough people take regiments of chariots,
Agreed.
but like the Drakon riders are like his one kind of hope. But
He's got the Stormwind and the Draken Riders. But the thing is, if he closes too fast, he just gets dragons in the face.
right,
Mm-hmm.
and
Does
Brad's
it?
not gonna give him a charge that he can't take.
Does a really dense table even this out a little bit?
I think it depends on terrain.
I mean, if it's hills in the middle, the chariots don't care.
Well, that
Some forest though.
and scenario comes into play too. So like it's a combo. He needs the right scenario and he needs the right terrain, amount, style, placement.
Yeah,
And Brad's not just going to let him, oh, you want to clutter up the middle of the field and not give me any shooting lanes? Yeah, no, because it's a half and half terrain swap. So you're going to drop something, he's going to drop something. He's not going to be dumb enough to let that happen. And if he does, he's going to have some sort of motive behind it to be like, cool, you're going to think you're safe, and then I'm just going to walk forward and shoot you through the forest.
yeah.
Something like that.
Like all these elven characters that are mounted are cool, but they're either going to get picked up by shooting. Like that elven mage is only 10-12. And the king and the prince are cool, but anything they charge can probably kill them on a counter charge. Like their nerve is just not good enough. Maybe the king could survive charging a chariot horde, but only for 2 turns.
The Princess 11-13, right?
Yeah, but I'm counting vicious here for a lot of damage.
Vicious, right?
Yeah.
Yes. 11, 13.
You're looking at 3 to 4 wounds. A prince, I mean, he could survive
Yeah.
a round, but he also could get gacked around.
Well, he's got the individual helping him, maybe a little bit of terrain or something.
That's also assuming he's not getting lightning bolt off the table in the first turn. So
That helps too.
like
20 lightning bolts, you can definitely pick up.
72 bow shots, all with vicious, hitting on 4s, and 15 lightning bolt, all with vicious.
20. The archer
20
has 5 as well.
all with vicious. So, yeah, those characters gonna die. Everything's gonna die. Very bad.
Game over, man.
Game over, man. The good news is you don't have to play Brad's list twice.
Yeah, it's true.
Unless you played George O'Connell next turn, and then you do have to basically play Brad's list twice. Just a more dragon-heavy version. Just kidding.
Less
More
dragon.
heavy.
George only has 3, I believe.
He only has 3 dragons. He has more chariots.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's got regiments sprinkled in with the chariots too. So
Yeah,
I think he has 3 hordes and 2 regiments, so
Mhm.
net the same amount of shots.
it probably gets pretty close to balancing out.
Yeah.
Nifty.
Yeah.
Let's hop into the votes. Jeremy, what do you think?
It's interesting. Going into Masters, there's always, the last couple of years, there seems to be like a boogeyman list or a list in the room that's notorious or that's undefeated. I think last year people were talking a lot about Aaron Chapman's Slave Orc army because it had yet to be beaten going into Masters. And I think Brad is
He
another
got
one.
pretty goddamn close.
Yeah. And Brad is another one. I mean, he was playing this list at Alamo at 2250 against 2,500 point army lists in the latter games, winning. I really think in a lot of ways it's Brad's tournament to win or lose. This list is just so nasty, so I'm going to go with Brad.
Okay. Ryan.
Yeah, I've got to go with Brad as well.
Okay. Pat.
I'm going with Brad.
Mike.
I don't want to vote for Brad's list.
You could vote for Brad the player.
I'm going to go with Patrick.
Oh, switching it up. Okay. Glimmer of hope there.
Twist.
Matt.
Yeah, I think Brad has it. I do think there are lists in the tournament that can beat this list, but this is not one of them.
Gotcha.
Namely Corey's list.
John Green's would be pretty funny.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tell Brad
Great.
what Volcron is.
Your vote.
I think I got to go with Brad here. It's just too tough.
I think that's the right vote too. All right, guys. That was all of the tables. Let's hop into some of the more fun things. Corey, I know this is the only one that you've been on thus far. I'm assuming you saw some of the previous stuff.
Yes, I have.
Are there any favorite matchups that you guys have that you want to re-highlight? Because I know we're going to go into voting after this to pick the top 3 tables to watch. And we'll just go reverse order. So, Corey, if you want to go first, list off a match that you think is interesting.
Let's see.
I know it's so tough, right?
It is a tough one.
If you need a second, we can hop to somebody else.
Yeah, go to somebody else. I'm just
Okay.
looking at all the matchups here.
All righty, Matt, what do you think?
I'm trying to remember who Devlin was playing because I think we were saying
Kevin.
Devin? Yeah.
Yeah.
Devlin and Kevin are playing.
Yeah, I think that one was supposed to be really close from what we voted on. So I'd be interested to see that one.
Kevin actually got
Yeah, you guys landslided for him, right?
5
Pretty
to,
close
it wasn't
to it.
landslide. It was 5 to 1. Ryan
you
picked
go.
against them because Kevin has never defeated Ryan.
Yep.
I've never played Ryan, but he has
I
never
stand
defeated
by
him.
that. Kevin's, you still haven't beat me.
All right, Mike. Any favorites that we need to call out that you liked? Mike, you're on mute.
Sorry. Yeah, I think my favorite matchup actually is going to be the Corey and Alex matchup.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
That'd be a good one.
Pat, your thoughts?
Corey and Alex are going to be a really good one. George and Shannon is going to be a really good one.
Yeah. That would be a good one.
And there's a couple other ones, but those are the ones that stood out to me. And I will be posting a poll on Friday on Fanatics to vote for all this, and I'll post a list up as well, so everyone can get a reminder.
Cool.
I remember what it was. It was actually Kevin's versus
Devlin,
no, not
other Kevin.
Kevin Spears and Ray Shields, that one?
no Kevin Von Felt.
Other Kevin.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's only like 6 Kevins, guys.
Kevin Von Felt was playing Devlin.
What we just said.
Yeah, okay, it is that one.
The one we were just talking about.
The one we thought you were talking about the first time. Alrighty. Ryan, have you picked?
I haven't picked one.
Cool. Let's hear it.
I'm gonna watch John Green and Grant Fetter.
I was eyeballing that one. I think that's an interesting match also. Jeremy, what do you think?
So I have 3 sort of different flavors, right? Corey's game, obviously, I think is going to be really interesting as far as like possible lists to win the event. I think Rashad and Chris is just going to be a hilarious game. Just super fun to watch. And I think John Green has a very anti-meta list he's bringing with how much Dark Scythe Chariots we're seeing everywhere. And I think his list has a really good opportunity to catch a lot of people out. So Ryan had a good thought on his game. Would be also very interesting to watch.
Gotcha. Me personally, I'm interested to see how Aaron and Jake shake out on table 10. Just from a regional bias, looking at some of the South guys, that's probably one of the more interesting games to me. From non-regional bias, I don't have to go too far. Table 11 with Ryan Munsell and Greg Person. Greg and Ryan are both solid players. I'm really interested to see how Salamanders and Undead shake out with the list that Ryan's running, because
it'll be too good looking.
Yeah. Corey, did you come across one you wanted to talk about?
I think there's one. The first game from today's cast, Mike Austin and Nick Michalonis.
Yeah,
it's a very interesting matchup. I would like to see that one.
Gotcha. You're not too far away. You only have to look across like one row to see it.
Right. I do.
maybe
I
two.
Second Jeremy's vote there, Chris Kapsner and Rashad. That's just a fun one to watch.
That will be a fun one. Cool. So that's a good little topic. Let's see. So let's go outside the games for a minute. We all know that there's a lot of shenanigans that happen over that weekend.
What?
Yeah. Well,
No.
what are you most looking forward to that happens off the table at Masters? Like, is it the Saturday dinner or is it the Sunday morning Bloody Mary? Like, what are you guys looking forward to personally for this experience?
Board gaming all
Sunday
night.
night.
There you go. Board gaming.
Sunday night, getting the master to puke. We've done it twice. I say that as the first person to do it.
It is a fucking tradition. I'm not gonna lie, I'm looking forward to that. I'm kind of upset that I have to fly out for work on Monday because I'm gonna be hungover.
Ronnie Renton getting another chance at the Dizzy Bat.
That's right. We're gonna have Dizzy Bat. That's gonna be fun. God, I love
Which may be another way to make the Master puke Sunday.
Ooh,
There you
go. Celebratory Dizzy Bat. Jeremy, anything?
Yeah, I'm excited. Shameless plug, even though I have no shirt on this time. Rob's bringing in all his equipment, so we're going to be recording hours and hours of countercharge content. I'm really excited for Pat, all his streaming, and I think we're going to be maybe recording some countercharge and also be streaming it as well. So we have a lot of really awesome content planned for you guys. So even though you're not there this year, there's going to be tons of stuff to watch through the weekend, listen to through the weekend. I'm definitely excited, of Masters growing into like the Super Bowl type event it is. So that I'm actually really excited for all the cool content we're going to be making for you guys.
Yeah, that's another just good call out to hammer on again. I mean, this is the first time that we're going to do live streaming with it. This is the first time that we're going to have, 2 or 3 iterations of live cast on top of, Rob recording, because Rob recorded last year and I think he recorded the year before too.
Amy streamed last year too.
Did she?
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
she was able to do like 2 tables around.
Okay, single table, but we didn't have the commentary the way that we're going to be able to do the commentary this time. The graphics that you guys have thrown up is great. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, I think the publicity is going to be good, right? I mean,
it's been crazy so far. Yeah. Patrick, Mike, Matt, anything else you guys want to throw out as like things you're looking forward to?
I'm really looking forward to casting it. Or anything else.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's been really
It's going
exciting.
to be interesting to be at the tournament and not be playing. I still can't get too drunk though, because I'm going to be switching the cameras and telling Mike and Matt what's going on.
But we can, right?
You can get just as drunk as you want, man.
But make it even more entertaining.
Yeah.
Should we be drunk casting round 3?
Yes.
I don't see why not. I mean, there's not a round 4 that day. Why wouldn't you celebrate it?
Is Nathan going to be doing his RPG, Ryan?
Yes.
So that's another thing.
Is he doing that Friday or Saturday? Or both?
Think Saturday? I need to check with him.
Yeah, shout out to Nathan for doing that.
Saturday, but
Saturday sounds right. Friday we were thinking of doing Vanguard. If people want to bring Vanguard bands.
I'm definitely going to bring my Vanguard band, and I am also going to bring an army. I'm going to try to get a game in Friday night since I'm not going to get any other the rest of the weekend.
I'll probably bring one too.
Yeah, you guys can play since you live down the street from each other and you play all the time.
I'm looking forward to not playing 3 games Friday.
Yeah, you should probably not do that.
I'm looking
gonna
forward to
happen.
done painting terrain.
Unless maybe Keith Randall whispers to me sweetly, maybe he'll talk me into it. I'll get my revenge and make Mike Austin watch.
Mike likes to watch.
That's what I've heard.
Well, Jeremy, you know what you have in common with Kevin?
What is that, sir?
Have you beat me?
I haven't, because we've never played.
Like your odds.
And that's a good thing. That's a good thing to bring up. Just like Masters is a really great opportunity to play people who you don't get a chance to. And it really is sort of like people come from all, this is the one time during the year that you're going to see certain people. So it's a really great opportunity to solidify friendships and, hang with people. That's probably, honestly, when you talk about what you're most excited for, that's it for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really more like a reunion than it is like a tournament, honestly.
It's almost
really
like a church retreat surrounded by
I've met over the past couple of years.
Sorry, you guys were talking at the same time. Pat, what were you saying?
So I'm just like I'm really looking forward to seeing all the people I've met over the past couple of years and just hanging out.
Ryan?
I was saying it's like doing a retreat. You're out with a group of guys all weekend that have things that you share in common that no one else understands, but for that one weekend, your whole world's revolved around it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I love about this weekend. It's less about the games. They're secondary. The hangout's really where it's at.
Yeah. Primo hangout time. And we've got a good venue for it.
Yep.
I can tell you that right now.
And anyone who's coming down to hang out and hasn't reached out to us and just you want to hang out and do stuff, send Mark a message, send me a message. We will find something amusing for you to do.
Even if it's just drink.
Even if it's taking drinks to tables. Even if it's drinking other people's drinks. Even if it's picking up someone's table and rotating it 180 degrees because they wandered off from their match.
Fuck you, by the way.
You could take an hour-long break, game 3. I'm going to turn your table on you.
If it's the last game of the day, I don't give a fuck. Anyway, that was really good. Pat, can you push the where they're going to be able to vote again one more time, and then we'll get this little bitch closed
Oh
down.
yeah, Dan Miner's just in chat. I forgot. Dan Miner is coming.
Yes.
Shout
Dan
out
Miner
to
fucking
Dan.
riding down with me. I'm picking him up Wednesday, and we're going to bro down for like 4 fucking
Dan-
straight days.
Dan Miner
Awesome.
is the best. I just love that guy, man.
Get that son of a bitch so drunk.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
plug
So
it.
I will be posting a poll up on Friday. I'm just going to post it directly onto Fanatics because I don't have a link made yet because I'm lazy and I've been busy making typos on these army lists. The first thing I got to do is fix. I think I counted at. Let's see how many typos I've done. Counted 22, which isn't bad out of 64.
It's not bad, assuming it's accurate.
True. But I'll be posting the list, the tables and matchups, and we will do the top 3 tables. We will stream first round, and then after that, it'll be just up to myself, Mark, Ryan, on what we go through. So this will be the best way to pick who you want to see first.
Yeah, you can guarantee you get to see who you want by voting. So,
And did you want to talk about the loot thing? The loot
yeah,
change,
I
right?
just read the same thing,
Okay,
man. I love it. We're on the same
Awesome.
wavelength. So yeah, guys, I teased this at the beginning. Obviously, we posted the pack months ago based on how Blackjack scored at the time. That's been set in stone. Nothing on that is changing except for one thing. The capability for somebody to score a 21 in loot was technically impossible in how loot plays out. So the Masters Council got together. We talked about it. A really good, fun discussion. And we went through a couple of different options on what do we do? Do we cut it? Do we do this? Do we make modifications? Do we just roll with it? What do we do? The final vote came out in favor of modifying loot. So we're going to make a small alteration to how loot scores in Blackjack scoring. Everything else is going to stay the exact same. And this is all going to be posted. We're going to have version 3 of the pack come out relatively soon. I've got to make 1 or 2 more little edits, and then it's going to go out. But the edit is if you score 1 loot token more than your opponent, you get 0 bonus. If you score 2 loot tokens more than your opponent, you get 2 bonus. If you score all 3 of your loot tokens and your opponent has 0, you get 4 bonus. So we're basically dropping the 3 bonus out. So that's how you're going to get to 21. You'll get 4 there. You'll get your attrition 4, or is it 5, whatever it is. And that's how you'll be able to get 21 mathematically with loot. So that'll be in the pack. I'm going to make a post on it on Fanatics and the Lone Wolf page and probably the Masters page here in the next day to really spell it out for you guys. So slight alteration to loot just to make sure that it can score as much as any of the other scenarios. And that's even assuming that we even roll that scenario. It's 1 out of 8 and then 1 out of 7, 1 out of 6, 1 out of 5. There is a chance that loot is one of the 2 scenarios we don't end up playing that weekend, but just in case we do, we decided to make that alteration as a Masters Council. So that'll be coming out relatively soon in writing for you, so you don't have to go back and play this over and over and over. Shock, awe, there you go.
Aww.
Did we want to go over our top 3 picks and a potential dark horses?
Yeah, dude. If you want to do that, if you guys have time, let's rock it. Let's do it. Pat, I think you've got yours drawn up already. So why don't you start?
Yeah. I mean, for me in the Masters, it's going to be either Corey, Dustin, or Brad, and I don't think Dustin or Brad want to see Corey's list. That's why I picked those 3. And then dark horse. I like Greg Pearson's list a lot. I mean, shocker, 6 Troops of Ghouls is a list that I like. So he's my dark horse.
Anybody else have favorites in dark horses?
I really like Kyle Poole's list. It's legit.
It's a solid choice, man.
I think John Green has a good shot to Dark Horse.
Yep.
His list is very anti-meta with all the shooting that is pretty heavy saturation, and it's not a bad scrapper. So I could see him taking it.
So I'm going to recuse myself of voting for anybody in the South, even though I think 2 or 3 guys in there have a very solid shot, like Pat was saying. I'm going to look outside, and I think like my top probably 3 or 4, and this is no particular order. I think Adam Ballard and Travis Tim both have a solid shot. I think Shannon Shoemaker has a solid shot. And I also think Kyle Poole has a solid shot. As far as a dark horse, and I don't know that you can really call it a dark horse because it's a strong list and a historically strong player, but I think George O'Connell falls in for like that almost in my top 4, but not quite. So dark horse on George O'Connell. Sorry, I went to 4 instead of 3, but screw you. I can do whatever I want.
Have to make a new row for you.
Sorry. Anybody else got some favorites they want to call out?
If we're talking to win it, I do like Shannon a lot. I
Yes,
think
sir.
It's very strong. I do like Corey's list a lot. I can't keep it out of the South when I want to talk about people who are just going to run roughshod over everything. So I'd still probably have to throw it. I can't not look at this whole bracket and think Brad doesn't have a really good shot at winning the whole thing.
Yeah, I think my top 3 are very similar to what Pat said. You know, Corey, Brad, and Dustin all have a good shot. I think what's actually more interesting is like this. There's a lot of dark horse people. You know, like you've mentioned Shannon, you've mentioned John Green, and that was something Tom Annis brought up in Facebook, talking about how anti-meta that list is, and it's correct. You know, I think that's a good observation. You know, I think that, and it's like, I guess I'm somewhat biased, but, you know, I mean, Kevin Von Felt's a great player, and it's only a matter of time until he wins a big event. And it may not be Masters, but he's a very good player, and I know he played against Brad at Alamo and played a very tight, tough game. And having played against Britain's list a bunch of times too, man, if he gets his dark horse is a little bit more reliant on matchups, but maybe not for Masters, but he may have a shot to compete for Paragon. I don't know. That Alchemist Curse is so good when faced against the right matchup. So, but it's going to be interesting. A lot of really interesting matchups and lists this year.
Yeah. So, and you talk about Paragon, Jeremy. I really think like Chris Kapsner there,
Yeah,
had a real solid shot at Paragon. Right, beautiful army. He knows what he's doing with it. I mean, he's going to do well with it.
I think my Paragons are Kastner and John Green.
Yep. John's army is very nicely painted. True. And he's both those guys are good guys. So I think end of day 1, there's going to be a lot of narratives happening. There's going to be a lot of stuff to talk about in the post-game show, you know, after day 1. I'm psyched.
I mean, there already is, right? Like, we've done this for about 9.5 hours if you total it all up. And we could probably talk for another 2 or 3 hours just on player stuff if we wanted to. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of stuff playing out on Saturday that are really going to dictate the matchups as they go into Sunday. And Matt and Mike, you guys need to bring like lemon and honey and tea. This is fresh.
I
man.
have got a flask already ready.
Yeah,
It's
some
not
whiskey mixed in there.
Yeah, there's a little bit. It's a hot toddy.
There you go. Y'all gonna be talking it up. Ryan, we didn't touch on paint. Any armies you're interested to see? I know you've been talking to some of the...
Holy shit.
Yeah, do this.
I think this is the first time I've looked at a field and not only not known who my top 5 were going to be, I couldn't give you a solid top 10.
Wow.
There are so many good painters coming. And a lot of them have been bouncing stuff off me over the past few months. And everything I'm seeing is amazing. Brenton, finish your shit. I am super excited to see a lot of these.
Yeah, it looks like we've stepped up the game progressively from 2017 to 2018 and now 2019. I mean, the standard just keeps going up.
Years of multi-basing. I think we're seeing some special stuff now.
Solid, yeah.
It was with armies. We're starting to see a lot of things we haven't seen before.
So here's a fun one. Sportsmanship. Who do you like?
Dude, Kevin Spear is an awesome guy. I mean, I know nobody outside of the Northeast has ever played him, but they're going to get exposed to a whole new level of kindness and politeness.
Yeah, that Ray Shields Kevin Spear table is going to be something.
Yeah, I was going to say I can give you 3 right now. Jake, Brindley, and Ray Shields.
Yeah.
Those are my top 3 favorites for some sort of place in sportsmanship.
You know how nice this tournament's going to be when Kastner isn't even in the top 3.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I think Kapsner is going to be beating some people's butts at some point and may miss out on a couple of votes. Any other topics we haven't covered? I mean, obviously you can't call it countercharger because good luck guessing that.
Mike Rossi.
Kyle Poole.
Kyle Poole is countercharger 2 years in a row. Kyle's going to be in the top, man. Top 10. Easy.
Kyle, if you get countercharger's second year in a row, I'll buy you a bottle of tequila.
Ooh.
Well, now he's got motivation.
It's not going to be a good bottle of tequila. It's going to be an alright.
Yeah, it's
bottle of
Red,
tequila.
just okay.
It will technically be tequila.
It will be liquid of some sort.
Is that one last awkward silence for the road?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Drink.
Drink. I finished the beer. I haven't had time to get a new one.
I actually just am going to finish the barrel this one. So let's do
Drink. Drink. Jeremy's put some brush out.
Been a pleasure, guys.
Yeah, thanks everybody.
Yeah,
for
looking
watching.
forward to next week. It's going to be awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Love you guys. We'll see y'all soon.
For those of you coming, wondering about the weather, high is going to be 80 this upcoming weekend.
Oh, it's jumped to 80 then, huh?
Yep.
All right.
So I'm
Shorts and
expecting it in
t-shirts.
the mid 60s. Dress for spring, gentlemen. This is South Texas. We don't do winter but for 3 or 4 days during the year.
Yep.
All us northern guys are ready.
Yeah. Windbreakers at night if you get cold.
Ew.
If you don't get cold, then sports.
Find a cuddle
Short
buddy.
shorts.
Yeah, there you go. Shorts and fucking t-shirts.
It's not minus 20.
It is not minus 20. All righty. See you guys later.
Adios.